It's another wet morning, but instead of taking the time to let everything dry, I'm just having to shove it in my backpack, ready or not, because of how much the delay slowed me down yesterday. I was really lucky because in the evening, about a mile from my campsite, my intended campsite, I saw some friends that I'd seen 2 other times on the trail before, and they invited me to camp with them. So I went 14 miles instead of 15, but it was really nice to have some company. Also today I am wearing my pants legs because a lot of people have something called gaiters on this trail where it goes around your ankle and then covers your shoe. And the point of that is to keep out all this grit and dust and little rocks. And I thought, like, getting stuff in your shoe, that's just part of hiking. You know, we don't need a brand new fancy product for everything. But I've actually gotten so many blisters from stuff rubbing around in there, and I feel like with every step I can feel myself kicking up grit on the back of my leg, and then it falls down into my shoe. So I'm trying long pants today. Also, I'm trying duct tape on my blisters because the moleskin wouldn't stick yesterday because it's so wet in my shoe from the moment I put them on in the morning. You know, they don't dry out overnight. These are Ultra Lone Peak all weather, and I don't recommend them. They already have a hole in them, and that happened like less than 100 miles into the trail. I'm also trying to get things going a lot earlier today. My goal is to leave at 8:30, and it is 7:45 right now. So, not doing half bad, but the earlier I can get hiking, the hopefully more miles I can get in before it starts raining. Of course, yesterday it started raining at like 2, so you never know. There are what I think is going to be 6 days left on this trip, and I am just really bound and determined to make them good. You know, I want to have the same experience people rave about this place. Not just, I had to wake up and everything was wet, walk in wet shoes, long miles, go to bed in the rain. I don't want to be like that. I want to be like, oh my goodness, yeah, I love the JMT. Except not in that voice. I made my goal. Everything is sopping wet, and anything that touched the ground has grit stuck to it now. But I'm on the trail. I'm gonna walk to I'm trying to walk to 1:30 and just see how many miles I can get under my belt in the morning. So there's this fence, but clearly the JMT goes on that way. The hard part is getting the wire off the nail while holding my trekking poles. Oh, I guess I can put them down. You had to lean with your whole body weight. Go, come on. There we go. And we're back to our regularly scheduled hiking. Look at this terrifyingly large ant. Oh my gosh. Good thing I'm wearing pants. When I looked down for the first time, it was biting my pants with its huge pincers. Someone that passed me told me there's a river crossing coming up where the water's above your knees. So that's not good. Also, trail thought of the morning. In the movie Holes, character Zero, they say that they call him Zero because there's zero things going on in his tiny little noggin, right? But then you find out, like, he's really smart, he just can't read. Anyway, it didn't click for me until just this morning, but they call him Zero because his last name is Zeroni. Zeroni. Zero-knee. I think when I watched the movie, I was just like, oh cool, he has a Z last name like me. But no, it was a clue. Okay, so here's this. Here's how the water's looking. First I'm gonna go to the bathroom and then I'm gonna scout out the best place to cross. I ended up going with the alternative river crossing that was through this meadow. Man, it is really cold. The creek crossing wasn't that bad. It was very cold and there were pointy rocks that I had to walk on barefoot, so not fun. Also, all my foot duct tape came off, so about to get more blisters. Overall, not bad. Although, as I was leaving the alternate route, it said the meadow is a fragile environment, so please take the normal way if you can. And I was like, well, too late for that, but I'm telling you also, you know, try to go the main trail if you can. Today I was trying to hike 10 miles before lunch, and I did, but as I was eating, the rain started. So, good and bad. For now, I am just going to hide beneath this tree because it's thundering and I need to go over a mountain pass next. So, staying at low elevation. Right on cue. And if I only hike a few more miles today, that's okay. I'm on schedule, but for now, since I'm not like 4 miles in like I usually am at lunchtime, then I have time to just wait it out for now. I am so cold. It's been about an hour and the storm has definitely slowed down or gone away completely. The rain looks less, but it's still raining, and I know as soon as I go out there, my pants are gonna be soaked and then my shoes will be soaked and I'll be walking in wet shoes again. And my blisters hurt so bad. I just got them covered up. Oh my gosh. I guess I have to go out though. If I'm gonna stay on schedule, I have to get miles done today, and it's either now or in the dark, which kind of sounds okay compared to now. And P.S., you might be thinking, well, why don't you just go stay here and get off schedule? It's okay, you don't have a deadline. Well, I am going to run out of food eventually, and honestly, I don't want to sound ungrateful, but I'm ready to be out of here. I hope you can kind of sympathize with me on that and don't think I'm being too, a little bit of rain. But this is hard, y'all. It's really freaking hard. I did eventually keep walking. And while I was walking, I was thinking, I am just going to keep going and going till I get to Muir Shelter, and I'm going to dry out my stuff, and then I'm going to keep walking all the way into the night, because the more miles I walk, the sooner I get out of here. Now, before I got to Muir Shelter, the sun came out, and I was like, okay, well, I need to stop and take off my raincoat because I'm sweating, and I need to dry my tent while I'm at it. You know, that was still covered from this morning. But some people up the trail a little way saw me and said, hey, you can come join us if you want. So I made my dinner with them, and then I had all my stuff out. I had company. I wasn't going anywhere. So I'm staying a few miles, I think 2 miles maybe, from Muir Shelter. Tomorrow I will go over Muir Pass. In the meantime, though, it's going to be a freezing cold night, I think, because we're up so high, and it's usually cold. It's been raining like this since I went to bed. I've been waiting for 2 hours now to get up, hoping the rain would wake up, or hoping the rain would let up, and it hasn't. So, looks like I'm starting out my day by getting drenched. 2 good things I've learned on this trip is that for as long as I've had my puffy coat, I thought it didn't fit back in the pocket if you stuffed it in. You know how it's supposed to go into the pocket for storage. I didn't think it did, but then I tried a different pocket which had 2 zippers, so I should have noticed that before, but good discovery there. Also, with my inflatable pillow saga, I did leave it at Red's in the hiker bin, hoping someone could use it for something. Probably not. Probably it was just trash. But I love that thing. I was hoping it would have a new life. Anyway, my sleeping bag has a pocket where you can put stuff. So when I don't need my coat for warmth, I put it in there, and it's not as good as the inflatable pillow, but it's still pretty good. Last night I put my hiking shirt and rain jacket in there, and they were very flat, but it was something. It stayed in place. That wasn't as terrible as I expected. The worst part was putting on wet socks and shoes, and I'm used to that. I'm having a really hard time climbing Muir Pass. I can see the hut, but oh gosh, feels like I never get any closer. All the trails are flooded, so you either have to walk on the sides or on rocks, so you can't even walk at your normal pace. Plus, I haven't had breakfast. I was just throwing things in my tent and going. I thought, it's 2 miles, I'll be fine. I am not fine. Now I can't get this bottom door open. It has hinges, so I think it's supposed to open, but I'm barely budging it. This freaking sucks. Maybe the rain made the wood swell, and now the door is jammed. I could climb over, but I can't lift my backpack over. I just wanted a dry place to sit down. Just as I was about to give up, my friend Scott that I camped with last night came up and kicked the door in. Here's the man of the hour.
There's the man of the hour with lunch.
It's musty, it's dripping, but I'm sitting on my backpack out of the wind. It feels darn good. I was just crossing that stream when I tripped, got my left foot all soaked, and I was falling over and my water bottle fell out of my backpack. Not only is it 1 of 2 liters of water that I kind of need to keep on with the trail and stay hydrated, but it had my water filter on top of it. I climbed down a little to look for it because what if it got stuck and I could grab it, but no sign of it. It could be being held deep under the water where, because there's so much white water, I could never see it in the first place. Maybe it'll wash up downstream, but I did bring water purification tablets. The only thing is there's like 10 of them. Maybe I'll have to hike off trail and hitchhike and get a new one. I don't know how I'm gonna finish the trail without it. It's 5 more days. I'm gonna be drinking a lot of water. I can't just survive off 2 liters a day. That pouch is nice because I can easily grab my water without taking my pack off, but I guess it was too loose and couldn't withstand the force of me, falling over. Man, if only I had grabbed that. I am so grateful to be here this morning, and I think that's mainly for 2 reasons. 1, I camped with the same folks I camped with last night, so it's nice to have company. And 2, the sun is shining. Might have a chance to have my shoes dry out, my backpack dry out, my tent, everything. As I was brushing my teeth, I was watching the waterfall near our campsite and looking up at the cliff faces and being like, wow, this is so cool. Brushing my teeth with this grandeur view. And then I'm gonna walk a lot of miles today, and then I'm gonna get to brush my teeth in another cool place.
up this hill in the sun, not having a second water bottle and not having a filter that works instantly. So really dehydrating me. The first group of people I asked for some water, they said sorry, but no, we don't have enough to spare. The second group did give me some water. There's one person in that group that really liked to point out, oh, you should just learn to drink from streams. Oh, you should have had the tablets that take 30 minutes instead of 4 hours to purify your water. Oh, why don't you have an extra plastic baggie on trail? I kind of wanted to walk away, but I also wanted water. So she did give me some of those 30-minute tablets, and I guess I'm about to try to drink from this. It looks pretty clean. We're up high enough that I don't think a lot of stuff would have gotten in it. Doesn't taste like Giardia so far. This is the first time I've gotten dirt off me since VDR. I finally got to jump in an alpine lake at lunchtime. Also, my stuff gets to dry out. Oh, I am so happy. The only problem now is it's been like half an hour and my underwear is still not dry yet. And that I'm just cold and ready to go. So I'm like, come on. So the bad news is I took way too long waiting for stuff to dry out. It's almost an hour and I still have 5 miles till Mather Pass and then however many miles to find a camp spot. The good news is while I was going up that hill worried about water, that was the Golden Staircase, one of the steepest parts of the trail. But anyway, I got it over with without even realizing it was one of the tougher places. That far lake was where I tried all my stuff out, came all the way up, and that's where I'm headed next. Mather Pass, another pass checked off the list, and thank goodness. I was hoping to rejoin the friends I had been camping with for the past 2 days, but I was worried I spent too long at the lake and I'd never catch them. Luckily, I did.